This is a very important message for you today. Do not ignore it. Pay attention to this message. This is the voice of the Lord, your God. There's something happening around you, not in chaos, not in pressure, but in alignment. Something beyond your eyes can see. It's not loud. It's not demanding. But it's real. A shift. A quiet rearranging of energy in your favor. Archangel Michael has stepped forward, not in panic, not in fear, but with a calm whisper that says, "You've been seen. And now, the right doors are being prepared for you." Someone with presence, stability, and power, has noticed something different about you. Not just your appearance. Not just your talent. But your essence. Your energy. Your quiet strength. They don't even fully understand why. But something about you feels real. Grounded. Trustworthy. And that's rare. That's why you've caught their attention, not by forcing anything, but simply by being who you truly are. You may not even feel ready. You might not see what they see. But Archangel Michael does. He's been walking with you through the quiet rebuilding of your inner world. He's seen the moments where you chose patience instead of pride. Where you helped others, even when your heart was still healing. Where you stayed soft in a world that tried to make you cold. And now, all of that is being seen, felt, magnetized. This person, whether wealthy or influential or deeply spiritual, they are not here by accident. They are part of the alignment being placed around you. Not to rescue you, but to recognize you. To mirror back the light you didn't know others could feel. To be a reminder that the energy you give off matters more than you think. You're not being chosen randomly. You've been preparing for this without even realizing it. But this is not about material gain. This is not about status. This is about confirmation. That your path is working. That your light is reaching people. That your soul is doing exactly what it came here to do, without needing to shout or prove anything. Archangel Michael isn't crying out of urgency. He's moved, deeply, because you've finally started becoming who heaven always knew you were. And the world? It's beginning to notice. The right eyes. The right souls. The right opportunities, they are starting to circle your orbit because you stopped chasing, and started becoming. So breathe. You don't need to force anything. What's meant for you isn't just coming, it's already on its way. You are aligned. You are guided. And what sees your light now? It's not surprised by your value. It's simply catching up to what Archangel Michael has known all along. This isn't about being lucky. This isn't about chance. This is about alignment. About how, over time, your soul started glowing louder than your words. Archangel Michael sees that, and so do others. Without trying, you've been radiating a kind of quiet strength that can't be faked. A kind of calm that only comes from healing, from learning, from surviving and still choosing love. That's why the shift is happening. Why people who never noticed before are paying attention now. Not because you changed your voice, but because you found your truth. You started walking in your worth without announcing it. You started respecting your peace more than attention. That's when real energy began to move in your favor. Now someone grounded, intuitive, influential, feels drawn to your presence. Not just your image, your essence. And they don't even fully know why yet. But Archangel Michael does. He's seen the tears you didn't share, the prayers you whispered, the nights you held on quietly while still showing up for others. And now, this divine energy you've planted is blossoming in places you can't control, and don't need to. You're not being chosen because you're perfect. You're being chosen because you're true. This next chapter won't be about chasing people or proving your worth. It'll be about receiving what your heart is ready for. And this connection, this person who has taken interest, may simply be the first sign. A mirror. A reflection that shows you, yes, your growth is visible now. Yes, your light is reaching those it's meant to. And no, you don't have to go back to who you were to be loved deeply. Archangel Michael wants you to move forward without fear. There is no rush. There is no pressure. You're not being tested, you're being trusted. And those who are drawn to you now, they're not seeing your surface. They're recognizing your spirit. You didn't attract this energy by becoming someone else. You attracted it by finally becoming yourself. There is a moment in every soul's journey where things begin to feel lighter, not because everything is perfect, but because you've changed the way you carry what isn't. That moment is here now. You've stopped begging for clarity from outside sources and started listening to the wisdom inside you. You've stopped chasing temporary attention and started living from a place of permanent alignment. That quiet shift, the one nobody else saw happening, is why everything around you is responding differently now. Including people. Archangel Michael stands beside you, not to warn, not to push, but to remind you of something you've already felt deep within. This is your receiving season. Not because you've earned it through force, but because you've endured enough to hold it with grace. Someone is drawn to you, not out of luck, but out of spiritual resonance. They don't just admire your calm, they feel safe in your energy. They don't just notice your growth, they're inspired by how you've stayed grounded. You're not being looked at with surface-level curiosity. You're being seen on a soul level, by someone who has done some of their own inner work, and now recognizes the light in you because they're finally clear enough to feel it. You no longer have to shrink to be accepted. You no longer have to explain your softness. You no longer have to question why certain people fell away or why your path has been quieter than others. Everything you've experienced has prepared you for this version of love, attention, and alignment. The kind that doesn't demand you to change, perform, or prove anything. The kind that stays, because it sees your peace as power, not weakness. Archangel Michael wants you to breathe into this truth: the right people don't arrive with chaos. The right energy doesn't rush you, doesn't confuse you, and doesn't make you question your worth. It flows to you because your spirit is now open to receive what your old self used to resist. You're no longer attracting from survival. You're magnetizing from self-awareness, from healing, from stillness. That's why things feel different. That's why this attention feels calmer. Because this is not validation, this is recognition. You don't have to worry about what comes next. Just keep showing up in your truth. Keep choosing peace. Keep walking with the quiet knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. Let life surprise you, not with pressure, but with peace. Because when you live in your light, what's meant for you can finally find its way home. There's a kind of strength that grows in silence. The kind that doesn't shout or compete. It builds slowly, breath by breath, boundary by boundary, truth by truth. You've grown into that strength. Quietly. Privately. Without applause. And now, the world around you is beginning to shift, not because you forced it to, but because you became someone who no longer matches what drains your soul. And in that transformation, something sacred has happened. You're no longer chasing what isn't meant for you. You're attracting what already recognizes your spirit. Archangel Michael has been watching this unfold. Not from a distance, but from within the very spaces where you felt tired, unseen, or misunderstood. He stood beside you when you questioned your worth. He stood behind you when you walked away from what no longer felt right. And now? He walks ahead of you, clearing paths you haven't yet imagined, preparing the space for what's next, because your energy is finally clear enough to receive it. You're beginning to notice it, aren't you? The energy around you is lighter. Conversations feel easier. You're less triggered by the things that used to throw you off center. And even when life brings its usual chaos, you meet it with stillness instead of fear. That's the result of deep spiritual work, and now, life is mirroring that back to you. Through people. Through timing. Through moments that seem small, but feel different. Someone, maybe even more than one, has noticed the shift in you. Not because of how loud you are, but because of how grounded you've become. They're not confused by your calm. They're drawn to it. They're not overwhelmed by your silence. They feel peace in it. That's not attraction. That's resonance. That's what happens when your soul becomes a safe space, and others who are ready for peace start showing up in your orbit. You don't need to question why it's happening now. You just need to keep doing what you've been doing, trusting your timing, protecting your peace, and honoring the quiet wisdom within. Archangel Michael wants you to know, this season is not about proving yourself. It's about letting yourself be seen as you truly are. No mask. No defense. Just light. Just truth. Just presence. Because what's coming next doesn't require performance. It just requires you to keep becoming. There's a different kind of magnetism in people who have healed. It doesn't look like noise. It doesn't need attention. It shows up in the way they speak, with patience, with presence, with peace. You've become that kind of person. Not because life was easy, but because you chose to grow through what tried to break you. You stopped reacting. You started reflecting. You stopped chasing what didn't feel right and started welcoming what honors your spirit. That shift is powerful, and people feel it even when you don't say a word. Archangel Michael has seen every step of that growth. Every private conversation you had with yourself in the dark. Every choice you made to stay calm when you could have been loud. Every moment you chose faith over fear. And now, he wants you to understand something simple but divine: you are not hard to love. You are just no longer willing to entertain anything that doesn't feel like peace. That's why the right energy is coming toward you now. Not rushed. Not dramatic. But steady. Present. Whole. The person noticing you, whether they've said it or not, is feeling something real. Your light doesn't overwhelm them. It grounds them. Your silence doesn't confuse them. It soothes them. You don't need to explain what makes you different. Your energy already does that without trying. This is what alignment looks like: no resistance, no pretending. Just connection, spirit to spirit, heart to heart. And what you're attracting now is not happening because you've changed who you are, it's happening because you've returned to yourself. You're not dimming your light anymore to keep the wrong people comfortable. You're shining quietly, fully, truthfully, and the right people are starting to notice without needing a reason. You're not being rewarded. You're being mirrored. Your energy is simply calling back to you the kind of people and moments you're finally ready to hold. And Archangel Michael reminds you once more, there's nothing more you need to do. Let your energy speak. Let your truth remain soft. Let what's meant for you recognize your calm, and stay, because of it. You've changed in ways that only your soul understands. The growth wasn't loud. It didn't happen in front of crowds. It happened in the quiet, in the way you chose to stay grounded when everything around you felt unstable. In the way you began choosing truth over approval. In the way you started protecting your energy like it was sacred. Because it is. Archangel Michael has been walking beside you, not correcting your path, but holding space for your unfolding. And now, what's coming into your life, the people, the opportunities, the gentle recognitions, they aren't here to surprise you. They're here because your energy has finally reached a level of peace that speaks louder than your words ever could. The person you are becoming doesn't need to chase, convince, or explain. You simply are. And that is enough. Someone who sees you now, they don't just see your outer presence. They sense the depth in you. They feel the softness beneath your strength. They notice the calm in your silence. And it draws them closer, not out of curiosity, but out of resonance. You are no longer attracting people who want your attention. You are attracting people who respect your spirit. The journey hasn't been easy. You've had to let go of old versions of yourself, versions that needed validation, that feared rejection, that stayed small to feel safe. But you didn't abandon yourself. You came back home. To your truth. To your worth. And now, everything that meets you from this point on will be a reflection of that. Archangel Michael wants you to see this clearly. You didn't have to fight for what's showing up now. You had to align for it. You had to learn when to rest. When to say no. When to speak softly and walk away from noise. And in doing so, you didn't lose anything real, you made room for what is truly meant. This new attention you're receiving, from people, from life, from unexpected places, is not meant to overwhelm you. It's meant to confirm something your soul already knows: you are ready. Not just to be seen, but to be received. And not just by anyone, but by those who see you clearly and stay. So keep being who you are. Don't shrink. Don't doubt. Don't rush. What's finding you now isn't here to test you. It's here to walk beside you. Quietly. Genuinely. Divinely. It doesn't always happen suddenly. Sometimes, alignment shows up quietly, after long seasons of stillness. It doesn't knock loudly. It doesn't demand your attention. It arrives gently, when you've made space for it. And that's where you are now. Not in a season of chasing or hoping, but in a season of receiving, without resistance. Without guilt. Without fear. You've cleared out old energy. You've let go of situations and people that once made you question your worth. You've walked away from noise, from attention that came without respect. You've made room for something sacred, truth. And now, Archangel Michael stands beside you, peaceful, calm, fully aware, and says, "This is why it's arriving now." You're ready to hold what your spirit once prayed for. What's coming toward you is not confused. It's not unsure. It's not chaotic. It's the kind of connection that doesn't need convincing. It's someone, or something, that sees you clearly, and feels your energy as a safe place. They've felt many things before: attraction, admiration, curiosity. But this is different. It's recognition. It's familiarity. It's alignment. The truth is, you didn't change to be seen. You returned to yourself. You found stillness inside the storm. You stopped speaking for approval and started listening to your own voice. And because of that, life has shifted around you, not through force, but through flow. Now you're being approached by people who respect that stillness. They don't want to interrupt your peace. They want to protect it. They're not afraid of your depth. They're drawn to it, because they've known what it's like to feel misunderstood. They've outgrown surface energy. They feel safe in your presence, not because you've said anything, but because your energy speaks louder than words ever could. Archangel Michael wants you to receive this part of the journey with grace. You are not being rewarded. You are being remembered. You're not being tested, you're being trusted. The connections showing up now are not here to fix you. They're here to reflect how far you've come, how deeply you've healed, and how ready you are to be seen not for what you do, but for who you are. So don't second guess it. Don't shrink from it. Let it unfold slowly. Let it stay gentle. Let it grow from a place of honesty. The love, attention, and recognition you're receiving now, it's not too much. It's not random. It's exactly in rhythm with your spirit. Because now, for the first time in a long time, your energy isn't asking for anything. It's inviting what's already meant for you to finally arrive. There is something rare about a soul that has made peace with its own journey. You can feel it in their silence. You can sense it in their gaze. They no longer try to impress, explain, or perform. They are simply present, whole, steady, grounded. And that's what you've become, by. You're not performing your peace anymore. You're living in it. And because of that, your energy has become magnetic, not loud, not dramatic, but undeniable. Archangel Michael stands with you in this clarity, his presence soft but strong. You're not chasing people, attention, or outcomes. You've stopped rushing, stopped shrinking, stopped trying to convince anyone of your worth. And now that your spirit has settled, you've unknowingly stepped into something beautiful, attraction without effort. What's meant for you feels your truth now, and it's finding its way to you. The people who come near you now are not looking for entertainment. They're not drawn to noise. They're drawn to substance. They feel your peace before you speak. They sense your story without needing the details. They don't admire you from the surface, they recognize you from the soul. This is not popularity. This is presence. This is not fame. This is frequency. Your calm is no longer mistaken for weakness. Your quiet is no longer seen as distance. It's felt as depth, and that depth is rare. It's healing. It's safe. It's sacred. That's why someone has taken interest in you now. They may not understand it logically, but their spirit does. Because your energy speaks to the parts of them that are still learning how to feel safe. And now they're curious, not just about your words, but about your world. You didn't ask for this. You didn't plan for this. But your growth, your soft strength, invited it. And Archangel Michael wants to gently remind you, you are ready. You don't have to become anything more. You don't have to perform or prepare. You are already enough. What is entering your life now isn't here to judge your journey, it's here to walk beside it. Let this next chapter be one of allowing. Allowing the right people to see you. Allowing goodness to stay. Allowing stillness to lead. There is no pressure. No proving. Just presence. And from this place, right here, right now, your life is shifting. Not because you forced it, but because you finally aligned with it. And now, what's meant for you is simply coming home. You're not being noticed because you tried harder. You're being seen now because your energy has shifted. You've stopped chasing, you've started aligning. The peace you carry is calling in the right people, not because you asked, but because you became someone who no longer needs to be loud to be felt. Archangel Michael is with you, reminding you, what's coming isn't random. It's responding to your stillness, your truth, your presence. You are not reaching anymore, you're receiving. And that's powerful. If you believe in God, type Amen. Subscribe for more videos.